Happy Valentine's in advance, all right? So, Valentine's is coming up on Friday, and if somebody doesn't gift you, you have to think twice. I mean, it's not the only, some of you, your love languages are different. Maybe quality time, you know, all that. But gifts are part of celebration of Valentine's, and most of the time this is wrapped nicely. The big question is, what is inside there? Most of the times we wrap flowers. Ask yourself, will you eat flowers? No, most of the time you won't do that. So, look at this gift suggestion. I have a watermelon here. I have oranges here. This is the ultimate show of love, okay? Gift somebody some food and you'll have a good time. Welcome to the Farm Kenya show. My name is Noah Kipkemboy, and I'm not very good at packing things, but I have managed to. And today, we're talking about commercial kitchen, what exactly? Farming. I know you're thinking kitchen gardening. That is small scale. That is what you do at the back of your house. You're growing your few sukuma wiki. In the evening, you go, pluck it, and eat it. But there are people who are producing kitchen produce, vegetables, fruits at scale. They're doing it commercially. And that is our discussion today. And this watermelon is too heavy. Let me put it back first of all before I continue with our conversation. Okay, thank you very much. That's my workout for the day, by the way. In studio, we have Winnie Akinyi, popularly known as Zaina, who's the CEO of Albiza Culture Company Limited. And at the far end, we have the gentleman who wears many caps, yeah? But today he has one. He's a farmer. And his name is Peter Munyaka. Lady, gentlemen, welcome to Farm Kenya show. Good to see you guys. In fact, by your dressing the green already just shows, you know, you are very pro-green products. But maybe for starters, it's good to lay out definitions because we tend to confuse wordings, you know. Winnie,
yes.
Most of the times when we see, you know, commercial, then we see kitchen, most of the times we finish with kitchen gardening, okay? Because we think, it's a fancy word, you're able to grow your own food. But today we are discussing commercial kitchen farming. Distinct these two for us.
So with the commercial kitchen farming, it means doing farm produce for kitchen at large, where you're able to supply a variety of customers, where you can do large supply in institutions, companies, hospitals, and even home deliveries. So to differentiate these gardening and farming, gardening we are not doing actually for personal consumption, sorry. Yeah, so when it comes to kitchen commercial, we do at large to provide, or rather to supply kitchen planted vegetables, fruits that are actually consumed on a daily purposes.
Definitely. You know, we were having that discussion with Peter earlier on, Peter, and you're like, no, you're not doing us justice if you call us commercial kitchen gardeners, yeah? Because it's difference of scale. And you are a farmer. Is there anything to add to this particular definition when you talk about commercial kitchen farming?
I think the emphasis needs to go to the level of production, because when you talk about the kitchen garden, it's more like just small portion for production. But when you talk about commercial kitchen farming, it means that you can supply large institutions, be it schools, be it hospitals, be it the hoteliering industry. And basically that is what we do, production for the big consumers.
Okay.
Yes.
Definitely. So what products, because one of my friends who loves sugarcane is thinking, wow, I can start doing sugarcane, you know? But we're discussing about markets which we shall come later on. Predominantly, when we talk about commercial kitchen farming, what is the array of products in Kenya, and does it change from region to the other?
Well, in Kenya, for the kitchen produce, vegetables, we consume much vegetables, mostly, if not every day. In a meal or in a diet, you must find something that relates either to the fruits, legumes, vegetables, cereals, in that part. So every time you have a variety of requests for fresh vegetable. Now, this is when it comes with the farming part, that you get it directly from the farm.
Okay.
Yes, within a short period of value addition to the consumer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So most of the time with food, it's a request all over.
Ah.
Yes.
When you're in the food business, I was saying that you never sleep hungry, but Peter differed, by the way. He said, nah,
Yeah, true.
you can't sleep hungry with your food if you haven't planned yourself well. And that is in terms of ensuring that you have a market.
Yes.
But from the production level, when we're talking about the products that we grow in Kenya, because there is seasonality, I don't know how many people are using irrigation as a tool, especially small-scale farmers. It's still a challenge, okay, to finance some of this infrastructure. So we depend on seasons. Or there is season for this, there's season for that. Talk to me about this commercial kitchen farming in Kenya, the seasons and also the products that are widely explored by the farmers.
Noah, back to the statement I had given you, that majority of farmers will go into the business of farming before they know the market. And there are some people who say, just farm, people must eat. And I need to make that clarification. The easiest way to depression as a farmer is when you say, let me just do the farming, people must eat. What if those people decide not to eat your produce? So that is where the whole thing comes from. So once you have done the production, you must know, how does it get to the consumer? Is it through Zaina? Is it through the open air market? Is it through... sorry, I diverted a little bit. I needed to make that clarification to our audience.
Definitely.
Coming to the production part, you are talking about seasonality, but I normally tell people, if you want to make money from farming, don't do it when the rest of the people are doing it. Okay. The best way is to use irrigation. With irrigation, you are assured that when there is a glut for, let's say, the cabbage, you find that a cabbage, there was some news some time back, we were told that a cabbage like this one used to cost about 5 bob. But that is when there was over surplus.
Yes.
Okay. So if you want to get money, this is what I want to tell the audience. If you want to get money from farming, do it when the rest are not doing it. And the best way is to use irrigation. Okay. And without water, I don't think there is anything that you are going to get out of farming if you rely on rain-fed agriculture.
Okay.
Yes.
So utilize the tools that are there to beat seasons, to produce consistently. And you say that consumers, if I want spinach, I won't start asking, okay, is it the season for spinach? At the end of the day, I just want my spinach at the end of the day. Yeah. So in regards to especially being a link between of taking from the farmers, yes, and linking them to the consumers, direct consumers. Yes. Talk to me about, is it a challenge? Is it a concern, this aspect of seasonality and consistent supply, where sometimes a client wants this at this particular amount and it's a challenge to get?
Yes. I would say sometimes with seasons, that's the main challenge, especially with vegetables. We have, most of them are easily, you can easily plant them depending with what type of plantation you want to do, if it's irrigation, if it's depending on the normal rains. So for example, you have a demand of locally known as saga. Yes. Saga.
So nice.
Majority loves this kind of vegetable. But at the same time, you're not able to find it in the markets, given it's hard to grow. It takes also time. So with the reliability of farmers who use this special kind of irrigation farming, whatever means they use to grow the vegetables, you can find this with not everyone. So it is at that time that now the demand is high, but now the production is quite minimal.
Okay.
Yes.
So always produce counter seasons.
Yes.
Yes.
When there is expectation of low saga supply, you make sure by that time you are having...
You're organized and you know very well at this time, this product will not miss.
What makes, apart from irrigation,
Yes.
Not being able to put up the infrastructure, is there a barrier that is stopping farmers being able to read these market trends and sort of produce when there is high demand and take advantage of that wave?
Well, sometimes the challenge is, as we've said, it's seasonal. There's a time you find that you consume so much of a particular, let's say, I love cabbage most of the time. Then you go to the market, you buy, and then the person you buy it from will be like, I know this client of mine loves cabbage, so I may not, I have to bring cabbage. Then the next time I come, I want something different from cabbage. I go for something else. So it's in that, what the clients consume, they may change.
Okay.
Yes, they may, the consumption may change. It varies with time. Too much of something is poisonous. I would just say, today I don't want to eat this and I have to do this.
Okay.
So you find you are readily having your cabbage, knowing very well this is what goes most of the time. Then something changes in the market, yes.
Makes sense. I mean, you've talked about the aspect of, you know, the easiest way to depression, yeah, as a farmer, is not being able to sell your products.
Yes. And
that is normally a headache.
Yeah.
I mean, we have different ways of marketing, but sometimes you start selling at a throwaway price, you know, and it's not pretty to look when farmers are making losses. So apart from putting, first of all, planting when that particular product is not flooding the market, like right now I understand, you know, mangoes are everywhere, okay? Yeah. But in a few months, we won't have mangoes.
Yes.
And somebody whose mangoes are now coming, you know, to maturity at that, they make a killing from it. Apart from that, what do you think is stopping farmers, especially who are in this kind of farming, not to take advantage of those cycles?
I would say the first and the major is the fact that finances are never enough. When we talk about irrigation, especially to be specific, drip irrigation, it's a bit costly. Majority of the small-scale farmers won't be able to afford drip irrigation. So basically, what they do, they just rely on rain-fed agriculture, and once the rain is gone, we are back to the same old story that there was too much cabbage, there was too much of this, but once the rains are gone, the produce also is gone with the same. Another thing I would say is that some of the interventions that would counter that are again very expensive, because you could be having a cold storage that when the cabbages are in plenty, you are able to store until the season when there are few. But unfortunately, the storage facilities are quite expensive to build, truth be told. And maybe the ones which are being offered by the government sometimes, they are not very, very reliable, in the sense that you might find that some of the infrastructures are not working.
Okay, so definitely. So that unreliability and lack of investment becomes a little bit of a challenge. And Winnie, you're in this business. I'd imagine, especially private sector players, of which all the way to the farmers, there is a whole value chain that we keep talking time and again, you know. Government comes and says, we've given fertilizer, you know, and with fertilizer, we are boosting production. But there's still gaps, cold chain facilities, you know, all this. Even sometimes that market access, like farmers need help.
Yes.
In terms of you running your business, is it a thought process of looking at these gaps in the value chain and sort of trying to fill them? If at all farmers are lacking, let's talk cold chain facilities, for example, that's a popular one. Yes. Yeah, is that a gap as a player you can think of and sort of intervene? Are we seeing that proactiveness from the private sector and businesses as US to try and solve our agricultural value chain mishaps?
Well, Noah, what happens in agribusiness, most of the time we incorporate and suggest or rather provide training facilities, especially on how we can invent as farmers, those who are not able even to have the purchase capacity to buy even fertilizers, storage. So there's a way we do basic training. We provide those forums and locally find exercises on how to train or provide this kind of knowledge to farmers who are not in a position to sustain themselves in terms of inputs. So you also find the currently, let's just be honest, farming is expensive.
Okay.
Whether you're going to do it through large scale or small scale. Dependability on government is not something you can count as an individual farmer, whether you're going to get your fertilizer or not. Especially for kitchen gardening, kitchen farming, these are things we invent. There's a way you can even form your own fertilizer. There's a way to make to store your produce. Like we can even go the traditional ways, how to store the cereals, the dry, you get. So in the process of it, we train, we provide that little basic knowledge to such farmers.
Okay.
Yes.
Definitely. Peter, you're a farmer on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know whether it's quite sad. I always point back to that time where farmers were given fake fertilizer. And it's a sad place to be, especially being a country that is a net importer of food. It's really a sad place to be. But talk to me about some of these interventions, because Winnie has rightly pointed out, the cost of production of our farm produce is pretty high. How, from your experience, how is that case? What are these pinpoints within the production level that is raising our cost of production?
One, I would say lack of information, because especially back at the village, you are going to find that a majority of farmers will not understand some of these interventions that we are talking about. We are talking about irrigation, and you'll find someone who has never seen a drip irrigation working. So I think the major, if I can put it in a broad way, lack of information. Because like Winnie is saying, you could be having a solution to the fake fertilizer that you are talking about by...
Peter,
yes.
If I may just cut you short, my apologies. No. In terms of policy formation, we'll talk about this. Our National Assembly is very critical. Yeah, and today, guess what is